what are my chances of getting in, and how do I maximize my odds? You know, these are all questions that are probably running through your mind right now, class 2013. But you know what? Let me tell you, there are no guarantees when it comes to this game of getting into college. Every year, thousands upon thousands of valedictorians apply to Harvard University and Boston, Massachusetts. But you know what? Thousands and thousands of valedictorians don't get in. On the flip side, though, thousands of non-valedictorians apply to Harvard University and they do get in. Well, what can you really say to that? All I can say to that is, when it comes to getting into college, it's actually more of an art than a science. Now, this is an important point. And to make sure you understand it, I actually need to show you this point more than just tell you. So what I'm going to do with this next segment, I'm going to actually ask that 8 volunteers come here and help me give you an inside look at what goes on in an admissions office and help you really understand what they look for. So if I could very quickly get the hands of 8 volunteers, we want to get through this so that you all can walk away with some valuable information. All right, so here we go. Yes, you, sir. You, ma'am. You, sir. You, ma'am. You, ma'am. You, sir. You, sir. And yes, you back there in the black shirt. Please come on down. Let's give your fellow classmates a round of applause. Excellent. This is very important, so if you could actually, while they're coming down, turn to page 6 in your workbooks while they're getting settled, and we'll go ahead and get ready. Yes, if you all could please take one letter off the top and pass it down. All right. As you can see, on page 6, there's the word what? Criteria. Now, we're going to take you through this acronym and give you some information that will give you this sneak peek. So student number 1, why don't you go ahead and tell us what your letter stands for? Yes, course selection. The first thing that admissions officers are looking for is the course selection. The actual classes that you're taking right now. Are you taking AP and honors classes, meaning you're trying to challenge yourself, or are you just trying to get by, take the bare minimum, and do the basic requirements to just get by? Next student, what's R stand for? Yes, your rank in class. How do you compare to every other student in your graduating class right now, class 2013? Every student in this room, every student across this campus. Next, we have I. Your interest in activities, or your interests. Yes. Interest refers to your activities in clubs and organizations outside the classroom. You heard me talk about it earlier, but I'm saying it again now. Colleges and universities want to find students that are well-rounded. It's not so much important what activities you're a part of, but the impact you made while you were there. Did you make your presence known outside the classroom? Next, we have our T, which stands for your tests. There are 2 primary tests that any college or university are going to look for. That's your SAT test and the ACT test. Now, it's your responsibility to find out if the college or university that you're thinking about requires one or both of those, but here's the primary difference if you didn't know this already. Your SAT has primarily 3 parts, the critical reading, writing, and math, while the ACT has 4 parts, your reading, math, writing, science, and then there's an optional essay sometimes. Next, we have our E, which stands for our essays. A part of every college application is going to be an essay. Now, this is important because this is an opportunity for you just to be real and showcase who you are. Not for you to try to figure out how you can incorporate every big word that you know, or even share with the university what you think they want to hear. Just be you and be authentic. What's most important, though, is that you proofread. A story that comes to mind is a young man who was so excited about applying for the School of Business that he actually applied for the School of Bunnies. And throughout his whole essay talked about the School of Bunnies, and I want to make sure that does not happen to you. So please, when it comes down to completing your essay, type it up as a Word document, spell check, proofread, of course, then go ahead and copy and paste it into the online application or print it out and go ahead and send it off with your hard copy application. Next, we have our, recommendations. Recommendations are very important because they give external validation of who you are and what you're good at. You definitely want to go to a counselor, to a teacher, somebody that knows you well and that could put together an excellent letter for you. Not necessarily the one that gave you the best grade, but the one that knows you the best, because that way they won't have any problems. You do them a favor by not waiting until the last minute, giving them plenty of advance notice to make sure you get it in time and they don't feel rushed. Because if you wait till the last minute, you'll be at the back of the line just like everybody else and you might or might not get your letter on time. Our next letter stands for interviews. Yes. Now, not every college university is going to require that you do an interview, but if it's offered, you definitely want to take it, because this is an opportunity for you to go above and beyond and allow them to actually see who you are in person more than who you are on paper and wow them. Let me say this. When it comes to finding out information about you, colleges can just as easily do this by researching you online, and they can use information either for you or against you. So let me drop this quick nugget in for you to think about. Every year, especially right now, we've heard of plenty of people losing their scholarships and job opportunities due to their online photos and posts. Let me say that again. Every year, we've heard of plenty of people losing their scholarships and job opportunities due to their online photos and posts. That's all I'm going to say about that. Just be careful, because you never know what information that's floating out there that you put that's either being used for you or against you. And finally, we have our A, which stands for academic performance, and that's just your grades. Hands down, that's always going to be the most important factor that colleges and universities look for. Now, some of you right now, your head is probably spinning, trying to figure out, wow, if college and universities are going to be looking for all these things, then I don't stand a chance. How am I going to get in? Well, you know what? Everybody say don't trip. Everybody say don't trip. I say that because, not all colleges look for all 8 of these criteria. Some will look for some combination of these criteria, and we call those formula schools. Unless, of course, there's a school like a community college that has an open admissions policy that generally will accept everyone who applies. Some won't look at a combination. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Course selection, tests, academic performance, U3 Step 4. Some schools might really only focus in on these 3 areas, forgetting about all the rest. If these 3 areas are good, then guess what? You probably stand a great chance to get in. While other schools, they might add in your, rank in class, essays, and recommendations, U3 Step 4. Other schools might add in 3 more. So they look at these 6 areas, okay? Only a few schools, though, are actually going to look at all 8. So, recommendation interviews, you two go ahead and join the crew. Only the most competitive schools are going to look at all 8. So, let me get ready to wrap up this point with this idea here. Remember when we talked about all those brochures in the mail that everything might be coming to you? Well, that's the first place that I want to tell you to look when you want to make sure you have a firm grasp and understanding of what your school or college is looking for when it comes down to deciding who gets in. You can also follow that up by looking online and seeing what they have there to get any additional questions answered that you might have. But still there might be a few things that you're just not able to find, you're just overlooking or what have you. So at that point, you probably want to go to your high school guidance counselor. They are an excellent source of information, and they pride themselves in knowing a bunch of useful information about a bunch of different colleges and universities and different other information about this whole application process. So you can go to them. But you know what? If that doesn't work either, you can always pick up the phone and make a direct call to the admissions office yourself and say, hey, can you help me out? I need an answer to this question. And guess what? They'd be more than willing and happy to do it. So let's give your fellow classmates a round of applause. You all can just drop that right there and grab yourself a thank you. Excellent. From here, there's just a few more points that I quickly like to cover. Today, this program is made possible because of contributions from our program partners. Because of them, we're here at no cost to you or your school. So if you have the opportunity to do so, we'd like to ask that you please support them in the future. Some of our program partners include My College Options, Army ROTC, Bank of America, the National Guard, and America Petroleum Institute, which represents America's oil and natural gas industries. And finally, we and our partners value your feedback. And for that reason, we've included a feedback form at the back of your workbooks. We want to hear from you. We'd like to ask that you fill it out as completely as possible, front and back. And guess what? One lucky person today is going to be able to walk out of here with this neat messenger bag from the National Guard. We're going to select a form. As long as it has your name on it, somebody's going to walk away with it. So remember that 60 pounds of information that I talked to you about a little bit earlier? You can actually use that form to guide which information you want to receive based on your intended major or based on your potential career field of choice. So if everybody could please turn to the back of your workbooks, we're all going to rip it out together on the count of 3. All right? Hold your workbooks up. 1, 2, 3, rip. Okay, go ahead, take a few minutes, and fill this out as completely as possible, front and back. Both sides, everyone. Both sides. Front and back. Front and back, everyone. Don't forget. Anyone finished? Both sides? Okay. You have about 30 more seconds. Perfect. As you all are wrapping up, if you all could please go ahead and pass all your feedback response forms to the aisle, to the ends of the aisles. The volunteers are going to go ahead and collect those, and we're going to get ready to do our drawing in just a moment. Okay. So getting that together. Excuse me, everyone. Can I get your attention, please? I have one final thought. 5,000 colleges, universities, over 6,000 pages of information, $150 billion in financial aid, lots of forms, and lots of pressure. Finding the right college, getting in and figuring out how to pay for it, that's a lot like choosing a car. You know what? That process can be really challenging too. But you know, it can be done, and it can be done well. Because it's all about building a plan around what's right for you. And guess what? When you have that plan in place, it's definitely possible to still have fun between now and graduation. Today, we've given you a lot of great information and resources. But you know what? You've received a lot more information here at this school, Class 2013. So what we like to do is remind you that you have a lot of great resources here that you can tap into. That's all I have for you on today. And I wish you all the best in making your college search count, and that you have an excellent junior year. Thank you.